So about a year ago I made this video about why I think Resident Evil 4 Remake was originally going to retcon Code Veronica. If you're wondering how I came to this conclusion, it is because once Resident Evil 4 Remake leaked in April 2020, we got some backlash from the hardcore Resident Evil fans hoping Code Veronica was next, and since then Capcom has been absolutely silent on the matter. However, in late 2021 we got the Los Illuminados symbol appearing in a PlayStation ad, and nothing new about Resident Evil 4 was happening besides the VR port for Oculus Quest 2, which had nothing to do with PlayStation. It was so weird to see Resident Evil 4 get a nod in a PlayStation commercial, when you just had Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes come out recently and Village earlier last year, and those got nothing. So one day in October last year, right before I fell asleep, I had this thought in my mind that Resident Evil 4 Remake was going to originally retcon Code Veronica, and Capcom was silent on it because of the backlash of them not remaking Code Veronica instead. I know there were reports from Video Game Chronicle that Resident Evil 4 Remake was rebooted, but I think it being rebooted wasn't for the reason they gave, but because Capcom was scrambling to not retcon Code Veronica in the upcoming Resident Evil 4 Remake. However, that was a year ago, and also a year ago I said that I expect Code Veronica to be remade next after Resident Evil 4. But now, after finally beating it for myself this year, I have different thoughts. So I have no idea if Resident Evil 4 is going to retcon Code Veronica or not, and neither does anybody besides those working on the game, of course. But whether it does or doesn't, I now think Capcom is going to skip Code Veronica when remaking Resident Evil games, and either remake Resident Evil 1 and 0, or just stop them for now after Resident Evil 4. Now I know some of you are going to be angry about what I just said, but let me put it this way. Remember a year ago when Resident Evil 4 VR on Oculus Quest 2 removed some lines in it that were in the original Resident Evil 4? Specifically the ballistics line Louise says to Ashley was the one people got the most upset at being cut. Okay, while people weren't ready to burn down Capcom's headquarters or Maida's headquarters, people got pretty upset, and it did stir some controversy. Now imagine if Capcom decides to remove not only the cross-dressing freak line in Code Veronica, but they also decided to remove all references of Alfred Ashford dressing up like his sister in the game. Then you got the army of people coming at Capcom getting mad at them for censoring Code Veronica. However, if let's say there is like a 10% chance Code Veronica doesn't change some aspects of Alfred Ashford, then Capcom has to worry about the Code Veronica remake being caught in sights of the anti-The Last of Us Part 2 crowd, who might not even realize the original had stuff like this in the original 2000 release. So as you can see, there is too much chance of Code Veronica causing a huge controversy. And realistically, how much would a Code Veronica even sell compared to Resident Evil 2 and 4, and even 3 for the matter? The original was a Dreamcast exclusive that didn't sell very well, and none of its re-releases did either. So think about it this way, Capcom has a lot to lose and very little to gain remaking Code Veronica in modern-day graphics. Resident Evil 4 will be the last one for a while in my opinion, and maybe they will remake Resident Evil 1 again along with Resident Evil 0 to tie it in with Resident Evil 8 Village now, like I said earlier, but I wouldn't even bet on that anytime soon. Anyway, like I said before, I finally finished Resident Evil Code Veronica for the first time this year, and you know what? I didn't like it at all. There are only 2 Resident Evil games I don't like more than it right now, and I personally think Resident Evil 4 Remake should retcon Code Veronica, the way I see it. There is not much chance Capcom goes back and remakes it, so I think it is best to cut it out of the timeline now that Capcom has a better direction on what they want from Resident Evil going forward. Anyway, it will be interesting looking back to see if I'm right for now that Capcom doesn't remake Code Veronica, or if they actually do it, and how faithful it is to the original. Also let me know what you think below, if Capcom should or shouldn't remake Code Veronica, or if Resident Evil 4 Remake should retcon it or not. Special thanks to naturalreaders.com. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.